Try this again. No, we'll just do this recorded. Maybe it should be a recorded video. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Charles Brandt. Got one person in here. See what happens. All right, got some people in here. All right, so get some more people in here, and we'll read the news report. So, all right, now we're getting some people in here. Okay, so let's read this article here. All righty. This is an article from Business Insider that came out today. And I'm going to read it to you because that's what we do. We read the news. And this is the reason why life kind of sucks right now for a truck driver, okay? 88,300 truck drivers lost their job, biggest trucking job loss on records. Approximately 88,300 truck drivers lost their jobs in April. It's the biggest single month loss of trucking jobs on record, according to data extending back to January of 1990. April wiped out all of trucking employment's gain during the past 5 years and a half. They don't know how to write. 5.5 years, bringing the industry back to its employment numbers back in November of 2014. The rest of April jobs report, which was released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics on May 8th, was similarly jarring. Some 20.5 million payrolls were cut in April, which is 25 times larger than the worst monthly decline seen during the recession in the late 2000s. Nationwide, the unemployment rate is now 14.7%, its highest since the Great Depression. While truck drivers have been deemed essential workers during the coronavirus pandemic, freight volume rates have collapsed this year. Much of the economy, most notably manufacturing, is at a standstill. As a result, trucks aren't moving. Nearly 3/4 of all freight by weight is moved by truck in the U.S. So if goods aren't being purchased or moved, truck drivers are out of work. Because of the coronavirus shutdowns, the trucking industry is on the cusp of a freight cliff, according to a Federal Emergency Management Agency report obtained by Politico. The rate of moving goods via truck has fallen to the lowest level seen since 2009, Cass Information System said last month. 2019's trucking crunch won't stop. Coronavirus just delays and challenges for the trucking industry. Trucking has had a rough 2019 with drivers like Chad Boblett in Lexington, Kentucky saying the industry is in a bloodbath. In the first half of 2019, about 640 trucking companies went bankrupt, according to industry data from Broughton Capital. That's more than triple the amount of bankruptcies from the same period the year before, which was 175. The 2019 trucking recession was also spurred by the decline in manufacturing. The Institute of Supply Management said manufacturing contracted for several months last year in October. The index slipped to its lowest level since June of 2009. But 2020 is making even the worst months of 2019 trucking bloodbath look wimpy. In August 2019, trucking companies slashed some 5,100 payrolls, the worst decline seen last year. Meanwhile, 16 times as many drivers lost their jobs in April. And they have an email if you want to, that's why your rates are low, people. Think about that. 88,300 people have lost their jobs, trucking jobs. And I imagine if you add the amount of people that have gone bankrupt and given their trucks back, it's probably a higher number. And that still was enough to change the capacity in our favor. So, let's get to the comments here. And also, here's on the upside, Pale Rider is going to be live tonight at 8 o'clock. And he's going to have special guests. Pale Rider is going to do something really cool. I am looking forward to this Friday night's BS session. You never know who's going to show up. You never know. Yeah, let's see here. We got Charles Brandt, Harold Huffman, Trucker Seals, Open Road, 3310, Stu Manchu, Bruno, Mentor Transport. This Trucker's Live. Good evening. Charles Brandt, Kevin Hessian, Bob G, Ralph Floto, Marty, Sue and Sam, James G, Dennis Bolin. I'm doing all right. Jason Breslin, Doug Smith, Scott Ledecker, Lek Leader. Sorry, Scott. Sorry about that. RD Truckin'. Are you at 22 Acacia Avenue? No, we're good. Kimberly Wall. Big Rich, contracted Legionnaire's disease. This is far worse than COVID. Oh, man, Big Rich, I'm sorry to hear that. Man, we pray for your recovery, brother. We do. I'm sorry to hear that. If there's anything you need, Big Rich, you let me know. Denise White, Brian Garner, HJ, great, Room for Growth, Doug Smith, Big Face Trucker, Chasing America, Rock TV, we were just talking about you, John Armstrong, Hog Rider. So if manufacturing isn't working, there isn't much to haul. Why is it a surprise rates are down? Hog Rider, I don't know. Everybody's freaking out, and I'm just like, this is just part of the storm that we're seeing. I'm not. It was no surprise to me, but people are acting like I don't know, people, we won't get into that. Everybody's been talking about this as far as, rates and brokers, and we need our fair share and all that stuff. And the reality is the whole country's suffering. And when you have 88,000 trucks leave the system and it still sucks in our favor, that just shows you how big this recession is. And it's heading to depression levels, guys. Les, how's it going? Pamela B says, Big Rich, I'm sorry to hear that. Ervaquero, the Spectre, how's it going? I hope Pale Rider shows up for the Pale Rider TV bull session. You never know. And this the second reason why I wanted to do this video was to promote Pale Rider. In his live BS, he's got something cool in store, and I think it'll be great. Mike Miller's waving from the Bronx. I can't keep my eyes open long enough to need anything hot. I can't do anything but sleep, says Big Rich. I've been seeing nothing but screwball and curveballs, man. I'm just waiting on that big old fat baseball to hit it out of the park. Yeah, good luck, Doug Smith. Sarah and poorly thought out. What are you talking about, Trucker's Life? What are you talking about? We're gonna finish our coffee. We'll take some more comments, and then we could talk more about what I just talked about. And shutting down has given no benefits to people's safety. That is a whole different discussion for another day, because the damage, it's kind of like what I said yesterday in my live feed. The damage has been done. The damage to the economy has been done. There are many places that aren't going to reopen. Perfect example. There's a large club here in Springfield that my band used to play at all the time, and they've been around for at least 25 years. And I know the owner. He's a real good dude. I mean, he would get us in free for shows, and if he couldn't pay us, he would like give us drink specials or Or one time he paid me with a record from one of the bands that we were opening up for. Um, I mean, he's just a good dude, and to be honest with you, it was something I actually looked into investing in a couple of years ago. And they've got a GoFundMe going because they don't know if this goes on for 3 months where they can't open, they're done. And I know a promoter who used to manage like 4 different cities with a bunch of live bands, made good money as a promoter, promoted a lot of live shows, and he has nothing to do. Um, I mean, that's just one of many examples. We might face a layoff in my family, and we work for the hospital. Someone in my family works for the hospital. By the way, TA has been cut now in some of them. The economy can recover if the government gets out of the way. Trucker's life, yeah, but that's asking a lot. I agree with you. 50% of all bars and restaurants are going to close. I absolutely believe that. All right, Big Rich. I hope you get to feeling better, dude. But you know, but that's some pretty big numbers. I bet money we are already in a depression. If they release the real numbers, I bet we're there. Artie, did you catch the beginning? Let me let me let me post a link to this article. Let's see if that works. Yep, it goes to the right article. So there's the link. Fox has the same story. Yeah, it came from Business Insider, and it's pretty telling of something I've already kind of known. Look, guys, trucking is the canary in the coal mine of the economy. When the economy's doing really good, we're banking. Um, I was watching James Best earlier. And I've been watching a lot of different YouTubers, and this whole minimum rate per mile. I think it's ludicrous because you can't a rate per mile is just one tiny aspect of your business if you're running a trucking business. It's all about the bottom revenue. And there's a lot of loads that if you look at the rate per mile that I do, it's not that great. But if if um, if I look at the revenue per day, it's actually not bad. If I look at the revenue for the at the end of the month, it's actually doing pretty good. Um, so there can't be a minimum rate per mile, and because a dollar to me might not be good enough for somebody else. So why standardize that? John Armstrong, here's the deal though. John says, I picked a real good time to get my CDL. If you can get in good with a company that has plenty of freight and that knows how to survive downturns, then you're good. Just know that it's going to be a carrier's market. In other words, back in 2009, they started to get picky. Companies that would take you from CDL school would now require 2 or 3 years to work for them. And and don't despair, okay? I mean, this wasn't about doom and gloom. This was about just reporting something that should answer all the obvious questions about while everybody's bickering about brokers and Washington D.C. and who should have said what and all this stuff, reality is I'm looking at the bigger picture, and don't think I don't have my own worries, right? And you did this before. You have a bunker, like let's say you're a big time prepper and you have a bunker, and you see the mushroom clouds, so you get in your bunker, and and you got plenty of food, water, ammo, filtration system. You've done it all. People called you crazy for years, and you're in your bunker, and you're like, heck yeah, man, I've done it. After about an hour sitting down there, you're like, you know what? I'm prepared. We're alive, but kind of sucks. It still sucks, right? So let's turn this down. Sorry. Air Vaquero, I've read this article, but aren't a lot of the numbers from the oil field and food services. Air Vaquero, you're absolutely right. So if all the oil field trucks work out in the oil field with truck payments, those trucks had to go somewhere. A lot of them put vans on the back, and they're trying to do their best. Part of the recession in 2019 when rates were declining was because there was a late planting season. A lot of the short haul, like especially in Ohio, was taken out because a lot of the farmers that supplement their income with their trucks were taking a lot of this short haul freight. And I remember in 2019, I was having a hard time dealing with the short haul, and another driver told me about, who's connected to the farming community. He told me about that, and it made a lot of sense. So whenever there's a disruption in one aspect of trucking, it affects the entire industry, because the oil guys that did own their trucks, they're having to find jobs somewhere, right? So that disbursement still it's like a ripple in the lake. It's a ripple. What'd you miss, bigrigceo? You missed everything. It's bad. Cisco has a lot of truck city, no restaurant delivery. I'm back in the grocery. We haul for our own stores. Good. We only have one direction to move, and that's forward. Absolutely. Truck for Life, how's it going? We're booming at FedEx Ground. Had to hire 6 drivers this past week. Now, think about that. Think trucking. Why is that? Because the majority of people had to stay home, right? You still need stuff. And so you have to look at the aspects of trucking that still thrive. There's still 13 to 15% of owner operators that were unaffected by this, that have their own authority. Not to mention some of the mega carriers where you weren't affected as much. We have a lot of people in here, 70 people. I think that's the highest I've had in a while. Make sure at 8 o'clock Central, you go check out Pale Riders Live BS session, and it will have some surprises, okay? But support all the people that were hauling like all the show freight, live events, concerts, TV, movies, sports, all the trucks associated with that. Automotive, anything that was shut down. Paper plants at half capacity. So, all the dedicated carriers for that were out of a job. The list goes on. It's not just, people seem to think that spot market finding a load from TQL or whatever is a huge part of the trucking industry, and it's not. It's just a small part of it. And look at the companies that have thrived. John, are you listening? Look at the companies that have thrived or remained the same at this time, and that's the direction I would go. Talked to a guy that hires contractors for FedEx Custom Critical, not hiring. He also said they're only hiring teams. That's going to be the challenge. Is if you're thinking about switching jobs, you may not be able to get in. You know, why are so many trying to figure out what is and should be? Waste of time, adapt and change. Why do you all do what you do? Wallace, I agree, man. I've been saying that since the beginning. Adapt and overcome. I've been saying that since before all this BS started. And so all these arguments and noise and people going to Washington, D.C. and arguing about whether brokers are taking too much and all this stuff, you know, I mean, you know, it's to me, it's just noise. It's just noise that is distracting from what people really need to do. Because even if you go to Washington, D.C. tomorrow and you're able to get some changes done, you know, some rules, you know, put in place the next time Congress wants to get together and do something, it doesn't help the situation now. There's a lot of things that are outside of our control, right? Pro says 36 holes today and low 80s. Nice. You know, there's a trucking company. I literally see half their trucks in the yard, and they almost have no trailers. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on over there. So, John Citron, how's it going? But anyways, check out the article. It's in the live chat. I'll post it again for those of you who are late to the show. And if you got a good job, hang on to it. If you're having trouble with rates, if you're in the spot market, make your adjustments and do what you can. I want no rules, Snow. I love your deep thinking philosophy. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think that's escape, people, is that, and I've talked about being the calm guy in the room while everybody's arguing. I can't express and whether you can throw all the conspiracy theories away, throw all the real threats away as far as the virus goes, throw that out the window. The reality is, doesn't matter why the government shut down. It doesn't matter how bad the virus is. Doesn't matter why they decided to destroy the economy. The fact is, this is our world right now, and how are you going to adapt to it? And that is the only thing that you have control over, is how do you react to the scenario? 88,300 drivers have lost their jobs. How are they reacting? Some probably collecting unemployment. But, you know, I posted a meme about unemployment, and it was funny. But in a way, I almost feel like I might take it down, because my sister in Florida can't even get unemployment because of the unemployment office, right? But so let all these people argue. Let all these people tell you that it's wrong to wear a mask or it's right to wear a mask, or, you know, let these people argue whether you should or shouldn't be out and about. You know, you've got literally a line drawn. You got the blue states that are trying to stay closed, and you got the red states that want to be open. Everybody's mad at both. Everybody's freaking out. There's the actual real physical threat of the actual virus. And so that there's no YouTube or SiriusXM or Truckers Report expert that will help you in this situation, because this is such an extreme situation. Our unemployment hasn't been this high since the Great Depression. That should tell you something. And if you have a good job, hold on to it for dear life. If you're with a good carrier and you're making good coin, hold on to it for dear life. And our rate's starting to come up a little bit. Yeah, but some of it's because states are opening up, but other reasons is because there's so many people have gone under. You know, I know several owner operators that have already given up the ghost. Several. And a lot of these mega carriers that they're clamping down. They're not taking any more trucks. You know, Jeff kind of mentioned that in his live feed that, you know, outside trucks for like Schneider, I don't think that's a go. So your plans B, C, and D, you know, definitely evaluate them if you think you need to fall back to them. It is all talk to action. They write notes from Missouri. I don't know what that means. I've got a good company to pull for and been doing it too long, I think. Says Shadow Wolf. Well, why is talking about the rates? So they do hear us. They were also talking about that Tia guy. Look, I've been on the phone with someone directly with OIDA. I've been on the phone with her. I'm going to be in landline, and she told me a lot of the deep workings of what's going on, and you know, and she agreed that, you know, OIDA has some stuff that they need to improve, you know, but even at this point, there's not much any organization can do. The ATA went in there and did their thing, and that was an act of how can we preserve and take advantage of this situation, and that's what they're going to do. Look, Big Rig, please stop giving per mile rates and give me total pay in miles. That's what we need to know. Then we can determine whether we keep at the end of the week or month in your case next. Which Big Rig are you talking about? bigrigceo or Big Rig Radio Network? Think trucking, yes. Low fuel, deferred payments, and loans. No wonder they're losing rates. Right. Well, see, that's the thing. Jeff made that point today. I've been able to lower my cost by 30 cents a mile, right? So everything that was $1.30 is now $1. And that adjustment will keep me afloat for now, providing, knock on wood, the truck doesn't have a major breakdown. I have money in the bank, and we've prepared for this. Not as well as I want to, and you know, I had to start running just for my sanity. You know, it's like I usually take a week off per quarter for house stuff. I had a dentist appointment yesterday, and you know, and while I'll be home tonight, you know, I'm under a load. So it's I'm making my adjustments, right? And unlike some YouTubers, I don't reveal everything about my life on YouTube. Sorry. Some things you guys just don't deserve to know, right? But I just want to simplify it as much as I can. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. How do you prepare? That depends on your situation. I made the decision and turned my SFI truck in. I'm going to get my truck I own, and for staying with Schneider, so rather pay SFI, it's time to pay me. I meant Jeff, like, okay. Wallace, that's a good idea. That's a good strategy. I know several SFI guys that were going to do that. Now, the beauty of that Wallace is that you're already at Schneider. Whereas if you wanted to bring it out, like if I wanted to go back to Schneider, I probably couldn't because I don't have an SFI truck. So because I don't think they're taking outside trucks right now, unless you're already there. Then you kind of get in that way. And but you reduce your cost, and that's great. Rome is burning. Give me 10, pump 3. Schneider Finance changed the way they do their leases now. I'd like to talk to about it sometime so you can spread the word. Hey, John, if you still got my number. Um, and you know, and the brokers are in survival mode, um, and yeah, they're keeping as much as they can because their volume's down. Guys, look, I clicked on Sage Robinson yesterday, okay, and I'm not broker bashing it by no means, but I'm going to mention this. Sage Robinson is one of the biggest brokerages in the world. In the world. Out of a 150-mile radius of Springfield, Missouri, which is usually a decent area for freight, on the course of between yesterday and Monday, they had 6 loads. 6 loads within a 150-mile radius. Usually there's about 20. Our C.H. Robinson guy, he said that his load count is at half. So imagine if you're a driver and you were doing 3,000 miles a week. Let's say you're a company driver, you're doing 3,000 miles a week, and also they're doing 1,500. That's what's happening with a lot of these brokers. Big Face Trucker, his broker mentioned it. My C.H. Robinson guy has mentioned it. We've talked to a couple others that have mentioned it. I've been on the phone with a couple others, you know, and that's the reality situation. Everybody's hurting from this. Everybody is hurting from this, even the mega carriers. I think bigrigceo put out there that he was at 20% less than what he was making. All right, John, that'll work. And I operate by intuition, and this is the time that staying with owning my own truck is the way to go for me. Right. Well, I mean, I the way I run and the needs that I need, the needs that I have at home, I was never able to do a Schneider Finance truck, and I'm really thankful that I didn't. Now, money can be made with the Schneider Finance truck. bigrigceo, you know, you just pony up, you know, $500 to see James Best dive in the pool, so he's making money, right? But when things get leaner and leaner and leaner, you have to cut your costs. It's basic business. And like I said, this is going to accent a lot of weaknesses, right? Even the strong, look, guys, even the strongest business people are struggling right now. That should tell you something, okay? And the more zeros you own, the more you've got to lose. Tommy Z, stuck in Dalhart, Texas over Mother's Day weekend, so mad with the new company. 400. Sorry, bigrigceo. I thought it was, yeah, it was, yeah, because Lenny put in 250. 400. So, still, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But anyways, guys, don't forget, Pale Rider is going to be live. This is the most important part of the video right here. Pale Rider is going to be live at 8 o'clock with special guests. And I really like the direction he's planning on going with his Friday night BS session. So please tune in, 8 o'clock Central. And yeah, Tommy, that yeah, you can't leave that hazmat load. That sucks. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, tonight 8 p.m. Central. Tune in to Pale Rider TV. And I appreciate you guys coming in. This has been a good live feed. A lot of good counts. Hit the thumbs up. That way this video can get out. I know that my live feeds don't tend to get out, and I've got a recorded video coming up. So I wish to say that all please run into the fray and shut your negativity and prosper. Wallace, there you go. I completely believe in the laws of attraction. You know, I believe in meditation. I believe in prayer, and this is a time when you really got to work on that. So it'll at least reduce the anxiety. So if you're in a good place, be grateful. If you're not in a good place, then imagine you are, and you will be. All right. So anyways, guys, take it easy. Remember, 8 o'clock tonight, Pale Rider TV. All right.